Hey, buddies. Monday, the something of March.
Rhett was staying in the fantastic pre-show. It can't be the. It's not the 6th. It's today the 6th.
What is it today? It's the who? May the 6th be with
Rent
you.
was due 6 days ago.
Yeah.
Rent.
Ooh, credit card bills on the 6th. I got to get that paid.
Get going.
Yeah.
It's weird how you pay it. It's weird how you pay it, and then a month later, it's back being very high again. I feel like I purchased anything.
Thing when you're a kid, like, why would I clean it? It's just going to be dirty again. Like, why would I pay this bill? It's just going to be there again in a month.
It just got dirty.
Yeah,
that's right.
It shows up every month. It's weird.
Yeah. So, weekend update retro. We live vicariously through you. What were we doing?
Oof, don't live through me. We didn't do a whole heck of a lot. We had Saturday was busy. Went for the fish fry on Friday night. It was good. Solid. Not spectacular. Solid, not spectacular. Saturday was shitty kids hockey game at 11. And then a excellent performance by the Sabres. Except for that one kid took it on the chin. Ooh, did he get dummied?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Riley.
He got
really bad.
That's your boy's kid, isn't it? Corey's kid, right? Riley still?
Yeah, that's not my boy, but it's someone's child. Yeah, I'm sure of it.
That's confirmed. He's got a mother. Yeah, not sure about dad. Pretty sure about he's got a mom.
Yeah. That was a feisty one, retro.
The boys, the Sabres were into it. They were wound up, playing well. And then it got. I think the thing is that the Sabres realize that they're being questioned on their toughness, and then they bring in a couple guys like Stillman, who's I don't know. It didn't appear that he's that tough, but that's big light of the situation. But and so I think they're trying to send a message that we can play hard too, which I don't think they can, but it'll be one of their weaknesses.
Stillman fighting major against Tanner Jeannot, 14:03 of the second period, and you're giving
it was 5.
No, that's what I'm hearing.
Well, the other thing was it was like, okay, I get what you're trying to do, and you know that you've been brought in to have be scrappy and this and that. It's 5-1 for the Sabres at that moment.
Yeah, makes sense for the Tampa guy to want to fight, doesn't it?
Yeah,
there was a knee on knee kind of a thing, though, right? With Skinner. Is that where it kind of spawned from? Dog?
I was signing autographs. I don't know everything that happens.
Lineups,
tendonitis in that
carpal tunnel. You ice that thing down.
First world problems.
Cold then hot, or hot then cold for that autograph signing wrist injury.
Get some of that CBN cream you can rub on there. Get some of that weed cream on Rhett. That'll help out that tough signature arm.
Tons of emotion in that game. Not as much at the Dome on Saturday between the Minnesota Wild and the Calgary Flames.
I feel bad.
To me, like the fans were all wound up at the end. I don't know what you mean.
That's the most emotion we saw all night was the fans.
Fans were in
the shit out of them.
Fans were in it.
Was that? Were either of you there? Was it loud, like on TV?
The Wolverine was there. It was audible from the broadcast. We'll have it in the Pinder report.
Yeah, it was audible. All right.
Yeah. Which is funny because I hadn't heard the crowd all night because really they didn't have anything to cheer about.
Hey, on the flip side, back-to-back solid nights for Jacob Markstrom.
Is 3 against
good
now? No, he was good.
Well, one went off the top of the net. You can't really blame him on that one.
That's true. The other one was a double deflection, the first one.
And the other one, the guy just skates right through the...
One real goal and a couple fortunate bounces for the Wild.
Yeah.
But again, the goal at the other end.
You mean the Flames goal?
The goal that the Flames were shooting on.
The net.
Net. That goalie.
Another backup.
We'll see. I think they really like Gustafsson, but
it's a backup.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's there.
But yes,
March 6th, as we've established, of 2023. I submit to the court that he would be the backup at this point.
Yeah, he's on a nice little heater, but he is the backup at this juncture.
They will not get a backup tonight in Dallas. It'll be Jake Ottinger going for the Dallas Stars. The Stars hosting the Flames.
He used to be a backup not too long ago.
Yeah, no, he's
Holtby got hurt, and then you're like, oh, this guy is going to be a really, really, really good goalie, like where you drafted him to be.
Yeah. So he's in. Because remember when the Flames were in Dallas last time, that was what they
got up 6-1, 5-1 in that cat?
Yeah, it was 6-1, and then it wasn't.
No, it was like, hey, isn't this great? They're finally going to be able to, relax and not have a stressful one-goal game. All they do is play one-goal games. Finally, the guys, they don't have to worry about freaking out down the 6-5.
Yeah.
And white knuckled the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
This fucking team.
Yeah, well.
Something.
So, and that was Wedgwood who was in net for that one. So the Stars seemingly have learned their lesson. You don't start your backup against this high-octane Flames offense. You just don't do it.
Can't risk it. You can't risk it.
Gustafsson started 8 of 12 for them. I'm telling you, it's happening. It's coming. It's coming. But we know Ottinger is the one in Dallas.
Would seem to be the case. Is there anything to be said? When we were done last week, the trade had not gone through. I guess I'm curious your thought, Retro. We kind of kicked it around. It just felt like there's no way they could spend any, they being the Flames. You can't give up picks or prospect. What are you going to do? If there's, what do they call it? A shuffling of deck chairs?
That was my initial reaction when I saw the trade. My first thought was deck chairs.
It feels like deck chairs. Deck chairs, Rhett, in, for those that missed it. Big trade on Friday.
Trades, yeah.
Brett Ritchie and Connor Mackey are gone. In come Nick Ritchie and Troy Stetcher.
They also swap out Radim Zahorna, who they picked up off waivers.
They weren't so Zahorna.
After all. And they get Dryden Hunt, who's got lots of Calgary ties, including a home here that Mackenzie Weger's living in. And he's really well traveled with the Rangers last year. Then to Colorado, then swapped for Dennis Mulligan, now sent back for Zahorna. He's a high-energy, fourth-line bang and crash guy, and Nick Ritchie screams of the type of player that Daryl Sutter would love if he, worked. 6'3", 240.
Yeah,
and fifth team.
Nick Ritchie is one of those guys that needs large pants, big hockey pants. I hope Depot has a set. Maybe that's why he didn't play the other night.
Who had the big ass? Remember the big ass?
Who was that? I got big ass. I forget who that was. Oh, you know what? It was him.
Come on.
Absolutely
no way.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Brian Burke was talking about Nick Ritchie?
He was talking about Nick Ritchie at that draft.
Big ass.
He's got a big ass.
Phenomenal.
I'm
clip
almost
is actually about him?
Yes. I'm almost positive that's who it was.
Wow. That makes me happy. That's full circle for that
was
clip.
The Sam Bennett
big ass.
Same draft, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the one.
If you'd be okay with it, we could.
You want to go take a peek?
Look back.
I mean, all right.
I don't want to,
I know we started late today, and we're always a little tight on time, but yeah, Connor Mackey was not going to play. Troy Stetcher comes in.
More of a journeyman at this point. Right side of the third pair. He'll be an upgrade on
Gilbert. The only beef I have with all of it, and it's going in, but way back into the past, is that you kind of anointed Mackey as a kid that was going to make it and can't miss, and you let a first rounder go for absolutely F all.
Yeah.
Who's making those judgment calls?
Well, I think it would be fair to say that the coach was not going to give Valimaki ice, and that necessitated waivers where maybe you hope you could sneak him through and he could play. But yeah, the coach had Mackey higher on the depth chart. The team really liked Mackey. They're both gone for nothing.
I don't know. We blame an awful lot on Daryl, and probably he deserves some of it, but I don't know. That to me, that reeks of mismanagement of a high pick.
Yep. Agreed.
If the entire hockey operations staff likes the player, they keep him even though the coach doesn't utilize him, don't they?
I guess. I mean, I just remember when Daryl came in midway through the Jeff Ward firing season, there was a conversation he had down the stretch about two young players that are going to have to be good if this team's going to be good in the future are Yusuf Valimaki and Dylan Dubé. We need these guys to take steps there was an immediate, like, okay, call to action on 2 young players. And I think Dubé's done well with that. And Valimaki didn't. In Valimaki's first game back, he talked about a negative environment and, nice to be in a spot where he's reminded that he's a good player. And I'm paraphrasing heavily here, but there was an immediate talk about negative energy, bad environment, la, 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 la.
Okay, well,
So it was apparent that Sutter was putting the heat on Valimaki, and for whatever reason, that didn't pan out. And I get the sense that he could still be a Flame quite easily if it was a different coach. And that doesn't mean that, Daryl's wrong here or screwed it all up, or that there's no, responsibility to take on from the front office. But there's a long track record of Daryl not seeing eye to eye with some young players. And I don't think this was a relationship that Valimaki thought was a good one.
Regardless, Valimaki doesn't get to pick. And he wasn't the one that said, put me on waivers. Somebody decided that we're in good enough shape. And if you can't read the tea leaves that somebody's going to pick Valimaki and you thought you were sliding him through, well, that's poorly constructed argument. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous.
Fair.
Right?
I guess the thought would be if he hasn't played hardly at all the last 3 years, and unfortunately they've been injury riddled almost every single year. It's like,
figure it the F out. That's the problem now I'm getting to, is as we discuss it, it's like, this is bull. Like, let's walk and chew gum, fellas. Come on. And I'm not talking.
It would be nice if it felt like the GM and head coach were on the same page.
If you want to get flipping, I mean, maybe you don't give a shit, but if you don't want to be booed by 20,000 people at the end of every game, not that this was the reason you were booed, but it's part of it. It's part of the whole story here. Everyone's confused. What the hell is going on? What are we doing? This isn't good enough. Don't sell us on a product that we're supposed to come and support and be excited to watch, and give us this. And anyone with common sense can go, geez, what was Valimaki? 15th overall and untouchable at one point, like anointed as your next number one. He was going to do it all, and he was kind of going down that path. And certainly injuries played a big picture in this. It got completely derailed, and arrogantly, I'm going to say it, he sat out a whole year. I was helping the team. I never talked to him once. I'm not a guru. I'm not saying that would have changed anything, but that's not like, I might be able to relate to a 20-year-old kid playing in the NHL, going through injury problems. I don't know. Maybe. I might also actually have been able to mention that, if Daryl comes in, hey, head down. Don't take it personal when he's hard on you. There are insights. But besides the point, it's not about me. When you have a guy that's number one and you think he's going to be a cornerstone for your D, and he disappears for F all back in return, that is poorly managed. If the coach and the GM can't figure their shit out, if that's the issue, then as fans and as followers, that's not fair to us. That's bullshit. Right?
There's the layers to it, right? I shared this tweet. It came up this morning, and I didn't think we were going to be talking about Juuso Valimaki today. Now, Byron Bader, creator of Hockey Prospecting, he's worked.
Calgary guy?
Yeah.
Good guy.
Juuso Valimaki might work his way into a star season by the end of the year. He's been great in Arizona. Cool to get such a thing gratis on the waiver wire. Very, very cool.
Not cool for the Flames.
Not cool for the Flames. Valimaki, 24 points in 59 games. That doesn't tell the story. You got to watch him. I don't know that he
stepped in and played big minutes when they healthied Jacob Chychrun for the last 2-3 weeks before the trade deadline.
Gostisbehere leaves. Would only stand to reason that he's going to play as much.
Yeah, and like there's a 4-point game, there's a couple 2-point games. I mean, he's had a nice little run here since mid-Jan. Time on ice, he's up into the 23 to 25 minutes a night pretty regularly. It's exactly what you wanted them to be. And there's lots of blame to go around, Rhett. I'm not trying to absolve front office, but it was clear Daryl wasn't going to play this guy.
Yeah, I was going to say there's those layers. You like having a difference of opinion. You don't want everybody, unless it's clear. Bedard, good player. Yep. But I think, if you can't agree on what your path is, Are we competing now? Are we punting? What are we doing? Then how can you ever agree on anything? Because even if you're in concert, here's what we're doing this year. Okay, we're done for this year. We're on to next season, which will not be unanimous.
Mhm.
Even then, there will be a differing of opinion. So
Well,
even if you were all dedicated,
again, I go back to, sorry, Dean, I go back to it again and again. What the F was the opinion on Giordano? Give me a breakdown of what the thought process was. It's almost a simpler scenario than the Valimaki thing. You're losing him. You're
For nothing.
losing him. You're not making the playoffs and you're losing him and you're going to hang on to him. Explain to me the reason. I can't get it. I believe in common sense. I think most people make decisions because they have a thought process and it's not just fucking random bullshit. And if you're running teams and you have $1 billion industry, you should have some sort of set of rules. What was the reasoning behind keeping Giordano?
Yeah, for people that are just, joining us now, so to speak, it was clear they were not going to be able to protect him with the expansion rules for Seattle. It was clear Seattle would be very interested in selecting a guy that could play top 4 minutes, only a season or two removed from a Norris. And it was clear that if he was going to turn into a pumpkin at midnight, so to speak, on the expansion draft, you had an opportunity to move him at the deadline in a season where they were out of it to probably a similar extent, if not worse than this year, albeit a weird pandemic shortened year with the Canadian division and all that.
And was playing
you weren't making the
yeah,
playoffs.
he's still top 4 easy. Yeah.
So I guess, and that's the problem when you have a shit season like this. You go back over all these mistakes that are made, and you see Connor Mackey. I mean, I'm fine with the trade. That's the conversation started. What do you think about trade? Whatever. Yep. Troy Stetcher's probably better than Connor Mackey right now, and you're a little soft on defense. Yeah, whatever. Give her. That's great. I'm all for that. That's fine. But now the guy that you said was going to outplay and be better than the first rounder, who was not just recently, within years, going to be the cornerstone of your blue line. Well, he was no good, so this Mackey's going to be better, except now neither of them they're both gone, and we got nothing with Troy Stetcher. Again, who
Arizona's got them both.
Well, and
you want to change your allegiances, they've got 2
Let's get some season tickets at the Mullet.
It's tough to get a ticket, apparently. It's very limited supply.
And if you want to go that step further, I don't think it's any one person's fault or anything. But if you want to keep down that rabbit hole of not maximizing return or just Sam Bennett was a high first round pick. Essentially, it didn't pan out. You had to give up a first rounder to move Sean Monahan. You lost Johnny Gaudreau for nothing.
Nada.
You move Tkachuk, you got assets back. Now the first went out in the Monahan deal. And thus far, the big names that came back have not lived up to their expectations. Am I missing anyone else? I mean, Valimaki leaves on waivers. Those are all first round picks. Those are first round guys.
Yep. I mean, you could argue you got first round caliber guys back. They just haven't played like it at this point.
I almost take the Tkachuk out of the equation.
It's different because that was fine asset management in the sense
you got something back.
Yeah,
you
and
didn't.
To Rhett's point, you didn't have to resign him necessarily.
You didn't for Valimaki. I guess you did for Bennett, but
Bennett they got 2 seconds. I thought at the time that's more than I thought they would have got because he just looked lost here and he was playing 4th line at times. And it's are you a winger? Are you center? I was actually really impressed with the return. And then he went on this heater with Florida, playing with Huberdeau and Duclair. And now he kind of has gone back to being Sam Bennett. But still, you certainly were higher sell moments for Sam Bennett.
Yeah. Well, but from the Flames perspective, that's a lot of time, money, and draft pick capital invested.
And even if you can rationale some of those, like Pinder's right, there are certain the Bennett thing. None of us on this screen thought that he was going to turn into anything. Right, we were all kind of the opinion. It's time to cut bait. And that's fine. Your return was maybe what it's the ones that just punch you in the effing face, like the Giordano one that just boggles my mind. Do you just wake up and have no plan for anything, Or do you not see that this is playing out? Or is there such side deal? Did you get absolutely screwed over again? Like, got screwed over by Gaudreau because we thought he was coming back? Okay. Well, did you think you had a side deal with Seattle that they weren't going to take him, and you got the effed on that one too? Like, that would be the only thing I would expect I thought, and they would never admit it because that would be tampering. Maybe I don't know, but there's no common sense argument to it.
Mm-hmm.
You've let him go for nothing.
The only caveat is if he had really said, I really don't want to move. If there was something
bad.
I know. But to your point, if it's strictly just a hockey asset
it's awful
decision, then that should have been an easy one. You would have had.
Well, and they moved Gio within 6 months in Seattle for a considerable group of picks. When him and Blackwell went to Toronto at the deadline, right? And now he's playing, for less than $1 million on a sweetheart deal in Toronto.
And again, back to what you talked to me, the Valimaki, nothing. Who, like I guess the three of us should have been railing against this if we had such strong beliefs that Valimaki was going to turn into something. But I don't think any of us were impressed with it. We'd been sold that Mackey was going to be this player. He was a shits. I don't think I saw him play one good game, let alone a shift. So I don't know what you were hanging your hat on with this kid. So, right? Like, they loved him. He's going to come in. He's going to play minutes. We're signed. This is great. He couldn't keep up. He was brutal. And you let So what did you watch? What did you see? What did you see that you made these decisions on?
The other thing that was interesting is that at camp this year, Darryl basically had his team, and then everyone that was not on his team separated in two groups here. And it's funny because within you're hearing all these kids that you'd love to make the team. None of them really got to line up next to NHLers, including Sonny Milano, who's having a nice year in Washington. And within 2 weeks of the season, you're down Chris Tanev and another defense, and Shillington is in here, and they're playing Nick DeSimone and Gilbert in the same lineup on the back end on that 7-game losing skid where they went out and played the Islanders in New Jersey and Boston. I mean,
I'll say this.
Weird.
Can I jump on here?
Kelsey's not performing. Valimaki's not good. Milano's no good. All these guys are good, but did they all have bad camps, or was the deck kind of stacked against them a bit in camp? I don't know.
The only thing I'd throw in there is that he did it the year before, and he was praised because the team came out and they were just winning, and they kept winning. They had a hell of a year, right? So I agree with you. I think training camp is the time to mix and mingle. The year before, so you have to get guys involved and see what they're like. What the hell's the sense of having a group of kids come in and made to be feel like second-class citizens? Like, no, bring them all in, get them feeling part of it. This is the time to get them comfortable with their peers. Like, you guys get out of the way, go over here. That's bogus. And that's what it was hugely successful the year before. It was the same thing.
Because remember, that was Darryl's thing. You can't come into camp and start getting ready. You need to be prepared for camp. You can't take the first 5 games of the season to warm up. You need to be in shape and be ready to go when camp opens. So it was all business when things open. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying that's what it was.
There's a lot of guys that had bad camps that are having good seasons elsewhere now. It's quite a list. Milano's already re-signed in Washington. I remember they were looking for another winger that could score. That would help. He's got almost 30 points.
Winger would have been good, but we had a good fourth line there for a long time. So,
and look, I don't think
got more ice.
To circle back, I'm not here to tell you Valimaki had a good camp, or Sonny Milano had a good camp, or Jacob Pelche had a good camp. All those things can be true. You just wish you could put these guys next to NHLers in camp this year. At least you feel that.
And that can't be the only measuring stick, right? Watch them for 10, 11 days.
Like, there's a track record with a lot of these guys.
Like, you gotta
like Milano's played in this league for a long time. You don't, he didn't turn into a different human given Milano's jersey. He's still that guy.
We're here in the Tower Chrysler Studios, everyone. It's the Tower Chrysler Studios. Tower Chrysler, Calgary's favorite Tower Chrysler dealer. I don't know if you knew that.
Number one.
When it comes to Tower Chrysler dealers in the city of Calgary, there's none better. Retro, there's none better.
I might have to talk to the boys at Tower about maybe hooking me up.
What do you? They got a satellite dealership in Buffalo, or what?
Tower
No,
Buffalo.
I got some things, and it would be nice if I showed up at my house in Calgary if there was a vehicle in it. Just saying.
I've been thinking about his.
He's not even back yet. And he's already doing this shit.
His house in Calgary. Have you been watching Last of Us, the HBO series that was filmed here?
No.
Retro, you've been watching it?
No.
You guys, fucking awesome.
It's not that I'm doubting it.
No.
There's
so
some
anyway,
other.
I really wish I could use this.
Well,
Yeah.
Because if we'd have seen it, it would be okay. We need to. All right. Well, hey, pay for my HBO or whatever it is, and I'll start watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll subsidize Rhett.
Yeah. But then you'd have to find it. You wouldn't get it in your apartment because you can't get any.
I gotta look at that grandma's.
I gotta go to grandma's.
I'm gonna block out here. I gotta walk across the street.
It would take me 8 months to watch it because I'm so fucking old. I fall asleep as soon as the TV comes on.
Anyway, it's like post-apocalyptic, like wasteland, and it's filmed in Calgary. I feel like Rhett's house could be a scene where it's just decrepit, falling apart. There's rancid food in the fridge. Like there's grass growing through the cracks in the driveway.
Oh, yeah.
There's just people driving by. They're going. I got to grow up going on in my house. People probably driving by, going, "Geez, I've never seen light. There's never anybody there. It's very quiet.
Driveway anymore?
Yeah,
tin foil on the windows. What the fuck's happening here?
It's like Kevin at Home Alone. Somebody's got like they're doing a friggin' dance party. Flames are winless in 5, 0-3-2.
Oh, good. Well, keep it up now. You keep it up, right?
Wow. I mean,
since the All-Star break,
it's bad.
3 wins in 13 games.
3 wins in 14 games.
Wait,
3-6-5.
I need to ask you guys because this just popped into my head as you said. Is this team always been this way? Do you not remember some of the other breaks where they just went to shit afterwards as well? Like, I feel like there were other seasons where we watched this team and they had their 2 weeks off, which is BS.
The only one was last year when they came back from COVID, and then every other team got blitzed with it. That was the only break that they had and came back. Shit. But yeah, it was always, Jesus, really not a great time to be taking a break. It's too bad they got to stop down right now because they're playing some good hockey, and then they go away and get hammered up and come back. And it seems to be a thing, Rhett. Yeah, maybe it's an NHL thing. I don't know. Because I was looking this morning. The Dallas Stars, they've won 3 in a row. They beat Colorado 7-3 on Saturday. 7 even strength goals. Just peppered the Avs. Prior to that, they lost to Vancouver in overtime, lost to Columbus, lost to Chicago. So
that's a rough stretch. 3 in a row there, bad teams.
But it's
a flamesy type set of results.
It was kind of in that mix of 4 or 5 games prior.
I don't think. Yeah, what are you talking about? They've won 4 out of 5 with one. Anyway,
in the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks.
They've lost in regulation to Chicago and Columbus. So listen, I'm trying to. It's hard right now. And in fairness, I'm actually not even looking. Stars, pretty much the same home record as they are on the road. They have 34 wins. They are one of the top teams. If not Vegas, it's them. There's been a bit of jockeying over the last month or so, but they have been pretty consistent. Jake Ottinger of goalies who have, in that 30 start or more club, 6th in wins, 2nd in goals against, 2nd in save percentage among bona fide starters. So he is real good. And there you see it there as far as.
Wasn't it nice he got christened in that series against the Flames? That's when we got to learn he was
a coming out party, right?
Because the Flames going to be the man that year, right?
Flames did it for Cale Makar.
Yes.
And Jake Ottinger, you're welcome. Although they ended up winning that series. So
it's a shame they don't get to do that to anyone this year. No anointing of future stars and the like.
It doesn't feel that way.
It sure doesn't. Yeah, that was the large takeaway was, you have that Boston, Toronto, Minnesota, 3 games here at home. You're going to test yourself against. No, they didn't pass the test. Nope. No.
So there it is.
3 wins since the All-Star break.
A lot of people letting me know that the Nashville Predators, as you see in their screen, have more points and better points percentage. And they were selling off.
Yeah, well,
we're selling. They sold Ekholm. They sold Tanner Jeannot. Ryan Johansson shut down. And in the process have passed the Flames in standing.
It's not been a good run.
Not ideal.
There it is. Last 3 weeks. That is Feb 13 to March 6. They bottom 5 in the NHL. And the team that they easily could have reeled in by now is in there as well. The Jets, 3-6-1. If you play 500, have a look at where you'd be. They've completely missed an opportunity to catch the Jets. Shame.
Now, crazy things can happen. Teams can go, as you say, on a heater. But heaters, I believe, include wins.
Well, back-to-back wins. They haven't done that since Jan 21 and Jan 23rd. So that's a full month and a half now.
Good 6 weeks, yeah.
And 3 in a row they haven't done since December. Early December.
To say they're treading water would be an exaggeration.
Yeah,
I'll send a little screen grab to Alex here. As they are on the ice in Dallas, we know it's going to be Ottinger, and it will be Jacob Markstrom.
Of course it will.
Rightfully so.
Nice,
He played well. That's
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? And even that homestand, they did play well against Boston. Maybe deserved a better fate, but you
Certainly
pissed
did.
away enough games that I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah, the Saturday
and it
one
was still 2-on-2 that night, right? Like 2-on-2 for Vladar. That puts them behind the 8 ball. But yeah, they outplayed Boston, and Saturday was a shit show.
It was the booter getting the rubber boot full of water. You couldn't. They're playing well. They're competing. Hey, it's a tight game.
Moral victory? Nah.
Sorry. Your goaltender kind of held you in. It wasn't a stalwart effort by Markstrom. But
it was an ugly game, but
it was another one where it's, look at the shots on goal. How many scoring chances?
No, they didn't.
Philip Gustafsson, he made some decent saves.
You stretch back to third period against Toronto as well on Thursday. Didn't get a chance.
No, that was that third. Yeah.
They had 5 shots in the third in a game they were down by 1 through 40. They did not get a sniff at a scoring chance in the third period. And so that's 4 periods where they've been completely muted offensively. I guess what? The Toffoli breakaway would be your best chance in that one. That's not big. Didn't get it.
And you know what? Screw the players too.
Mm-hmm.
Shame on them. Because we've spent the first half hour bitching about the management and the coaching. You know who should matter too with 20 games left? The effing players. It shouldn't take a Daryl Sutter speech or a trade by the GM to recognize what spot you're in. The goal of those players is supposed to make the playoffs and win a fucking cup, not collect paychecks. Shame on you.
The vibe has changed considerably since that returning home from Colorado. That was a tough road trip. They rally against Arizona. They blow a 3-1 lead in Vegas. They get down 2-rip early against Colorado, and that didn't end up being close. They have the huge, bounce back performance against Boston, rallying, tying, taking a lead, blowing it, losing in overtime. Right in that window is that we still believe in this room. Our best hockey's still ahead of us. We're going to make the playoffs. Everyone believes. That tone is entirely different than what we heard from the post game against Minnesota on Saturday, which was more reminiscent of a funeral scene. I don't believe the belief is there anymore. And maybe I'm wrong, but there was not a lot of confidence. And rather than talking about being better or defending what happened, they said, yeah, I understand why. Shame on us for not having more energy. Yeah, shame on you.
Yes, you're damn right. Shame on you. How about you send everyone that bought a fucking ticket back their money? That pisses me off. I know it's ridiculous, and it's easy for me to sit here and do it. And I'm sure there are games where I was horse shit too. But with 20 games back, you just said it, Pinder, Winnipeg is in free fall mode, and you have got to come up with a no excuses BS effort, and you don't care. And it's real clear. And we thought maybe that we painted you with a bad brush. I'm back to being real confident in my analysis of this team from early on. You're faking and lying and bullshitting us, and shame on you. That it clearly doesn't matter to you to win a cup. And you can't tell me it does.
You kind of saw it early. right?
Mhm.
I think Pinder certainly was, and I think most people were waiting. Oh, give it time. Huberdeau will come around. Just let
Let
these
the
guys get
goaltending settle
comfortable.
in.
This and that. You were on the other side of the fence. You felt like the coach, right? I mean, when did the coach overcoach? Right after that
Game
Edmonton
7,
game,
game
like,
8.
and
Yep.
you said right there at game 7,
Didn't make sense.
not ideal, and they haven't really recovered.
Jets have lost 7 of 9, and you've made up no ground, really. It's an absolute travesty. If you just played 500, you're probably in a playoff spot.
And what's interesting to me, and I'm not looking to pump your tires, but it's not like you're here. You're not hanging around the rink, talking to people. This is you just watching. Obviously, you have 700 games under your belt, more playoff games, all of that. So you would have a real good sense of what's going on with a team. But to be away from you're not in the city talking to people.
Or maybe it helps.
And you could see it then.
You can watch and you can tell by body language, and a lot of people don't even pay attention to that stuff. You can watch the game and look at as the play's going on, and don't watch the play. Watch the bench. Are they into it? Are they actually standing up when there's a goal scored? Is everybody racing and excitement? Like when Pelche scores, it's pure emotion and enthusiasm and excitement. He's pumped up. There's other guys said it earlier. Somebody scored. Kadri scored. It was not a rush to get around him and, hey, way to go, great job. It was more of a token. Okay, yeah, I get it. Wait, great goal. It was really important. It's fake. They don't care about each other. And we've had these teams in Calgary before where they tell us that the room's great and everybody gets along and we love each other and kumbaya and kiss my ass. You're lying.
They
flat out lying.
I think it helps too that you played for the coach, because we know that he's not easy on players, but you know what is going on behind the scenes there, and it's clear that they have not been having fun for a long time here.
Yeah, and it isn't hard to see when teams aren't having fun. I mean, yeah, that's another indicator and things. And anyway, it's not about me being right and wrong. It's the fact that we're doing this again. We're doing the death march, and you've got the talent. That was another thing I wasn't convinced of. I'm not convinced that a guy like Kadri was going to come in and help you. I didn't dislike the trade. I disliked the extensions because, again, it's easy for me to say I'm right, and I am. If you hadn't signed Huberdeau and Uyghur, you could have really restocked the shelves at the trade deadline, because 3 or 4 months of horse shit, it's easy to sell. Well, Huberdeau didn't get along with Sutter. That's why it didn't work out. But when we send him to your team, you're getting a 115-point winger, right? You're going to get some return for that. Same thing with Uyghur.
I'm not so convinced, but maybe. I mean, I just think maybe he's not having this year if he's right. Like maybe that's a part.
How do you argue though that, Pinder? Then how do you argue that you have to sign him to 10.5, but you don't think if you trade?
Let me make my point. I'm saying if he's having this year and he's unsigned, I'm not convinced you're restocking. You might get a second and a B prospect. I mean, I'm trying to think of a comparable.
I still think you get a first.
You think a first, really? For a guy that's less than a half point a game?
Got that haul. You look at all those guys. How many? What do we look at? 12 first rounders were traded.
13, yeah. And I'm just trying to think of a rental at his age. Like Jeannot's clearly, you're buying him for team control, and he's a young guy that they like.
Because I agree with
30-year-old rental, right?
Yeah, I agree with Rhett. There would be GMs saying, well, there's a lot of guys that can't play for Sutter.
Yeah.
Look who's he playing with. Put him here. That's what we need. We'll get him back going. I don't necessarily disagree.
Like restock's just a little strong. Like even if you get so let's say you get pick 29 for him, like might wait 4 years and it's nothing. But I'm with you. Like you certainly would rather have that position than the one they're in, Rhett. It's not close at this point.
Alex, I'll get you to throw that tweet back up. Ryan Leslie in Dallas with the team, obviously with Sportsnet. Some changing of the lines up front. Dylan Dubé moves from the left wing spot on the first line. Today, Lindholm centering Jacob Pelche on the left to Foley on the right. Nick Ritchie moves to the Pelche spot. So it's Ritchie, Kadri, and Huberdeau, Mangiapane, Backlund, Coleman, and then Dubé centering the line of Lucic and Lewis. So Walker
Out.
comes out, and the D
Ruzicka
stays the
stays out.
same with Markstrom.
Yeah,
in
but
net.
is Walker a little banged up from that hit? Is that the
That's a
reason?
good question.
he got clunked. Yeah,
Yeah, you hope
Because
it's not
this
Merritt.
because this because this lineup looks like horseshit to me. It looks like a mad scramble for no reason. But if
Yeah.
even if Duer's out, I don't why. So we're going to punish Dubé now because he's been the problem, or Ritchie needs to be put in this situation. Like, what are we doing? What do we? Why?
I
Is
think what
Ritchie
you're
good?
seeing is a coach that hasn't seen a goal from his team in 4 or 5 periods, so he's shuffling shit up. Like, when was the last
Well,
time they
make
scored?
sure
Thursday
Lewis and Lucic
against
are in there
Toronto.
because they're a threat.
Short-handed
For
break.
fuck's sakes,
Sorry, I
get
both you.
out of here.
Coleman shorthanded breakaway against Toronto.
And
wasn't
what
it?
period was that?
First?
So they haven't scored for 5 periods. So I don't think Daryl's found the new line
So
so
if
much
you're-
as like, hey,
so if
dummies,
you're
I'm going to
looking-
shake you up if you can't score.
Oh yeah, so you're going to keep Lewis and Lucic in though. That's going to fucking help.
Well, it's got the same jewelry club. We know that. It hurts him in his heart if he has to scratch those guys. I don't mind Pelche up top. That'll be interesting. He's been one of the guys
I'm
that has
good
been
with Pelche up top. He's playing hard and he's playing fast, and that's great because that's where we want him to play for the rest of his career on a top line. Absolutely, that whatever. But
And
the Lewis Lucic bullshit. Oh, and I'm sorry, Milan, and I get it. You're old and you don't want to do it anymore. I don't care. And Reeves is out there against Minnesota, so he probably is not afraid of you anyway. But it's time to move on, Daryl, and let kids play and get Lewis out. They aren't going to create scoring opportunities, and you're not good enough to hold on to. They're not even good enough defensively that you need them at the end of a game. You've got Lindholm and Kadri and Backlund as your fucking centermen. They can all play better D than Lewis.
Yep.
They can all play better defensive role than Lewis can. It's driving me nuts. Is what it's doing.
Daryl and Vets. There was a little Reeves Lucic conversation. I wonder if he's in Tuesday, you'd want to see it. I mean, don't.
But here's the
save
thing:
it for the offseason.
I don't even want to see it. I don't even want to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Of course he's in.
Well, no. I mean, like Rhett's saying, get out of the lineup, and I'm.
No, I know.
We understand. Like Milan did go up to the Rafters for 5 games this year around Christmas, but like, yeah, it feels like he's tattooed in this lineup. Never mind when he was tattooed on the second line next week, which was idiotic. Again, the coach, man, there's been some blunders this year.
Go ahead, Rhett.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just repeating myself. I know you can take it from 3 years ago, probably too. It's rinse repeat. It's the same. And Daryl wasn't even. It's stupid. I'm sorry, Lewis. What is he doing for you? I don't even care about Lucic. You can rationalize Lucic being in the lineup if you think that you need that. The Buffalo Sabres could use a tough guy that might help them, and that's sure okay. So if they can help the Sabres, maybe it helps with the Flames. But the Lewis thing is idiotic.
The if Duer is healthy, you'd like him there better than Lewis. I know they like Lewis. He does because it's all 3 forward positions, it's faceoffs, it's penalty killing, it's all the little Daryl stuff he loves. But yeah, there's no offense.
You have to be a winning. Here's the problem Daryl's having is that you have to be a winning flipping lineup for those to be effective uses of players. You're not good enough to win hockey games, so you don't need those little idiosyncrasies that you truly enjoy to have on your team. You don't need them, and it's a different team. Lewis is irrelevant when you've got Lindholm, Kadri, and Backlund as your centerman. You don't need him.
And boy, they have been on for scoring chances, have they not?
Oh, the Toronto game
was
a nightmare, and they're out, twice in the Boston game with less than 4 minutes, and you're lucky you got to overtime with Boston because of the chance they allow late. I don't get it. The coach loves it, and it's just a shame when you get Matthew Phillips having an amazing year, and he gets 11 minutes over 2 games at the Calgary Flames, and we get this same lineup, same fourth line trotted out
that
all
can't
season.
Score.
And then when you finally do call up kids, Rhett, you're like, damn it, Walker Duer can fly. That helps. Damn it, Jacob Pelche is not just a young player, but a responsible 200-foot player that creates chances. Like, Is there another universe we live in where some of these kids get more ice early and you're not in this fucking spot because your fourth line's a sinkhole?
Yes. Yes, there is. Give them a chance. We can't get rid of Jerome McGinley because he's our goal scorer. Listen, we all love Jerome. But when Jerome leaves, it opens up ice time for other kids to come in and you find out what they are. This is not the same thing this season. My point is only that when you give kids opportunity, they don't always screw it up. Sometimes they rise up to the challenge and play their way into top minutes.
Pelche's on the top line, and he didn't get up till what, like game 50?
It was for what it's worth. It was 3 games for Lucic, second week of December. So he's played every game. To his credit, he's been, stayed healthy. The 3 games there. I don't know what you. Now imagine, and I don't know if it's the case, but what if the Craig Conroys and Brad Trelivings of the world are sitting in their office and they feel the same way as we do?
I think
then
there's
it's
a lot of
disjointed bullshit organization. Plain,
because they brought
simple,
Phillips in.
Period.
Just gonna say,
end. Stop. Exclamation. All of the above.
So, Rhett, it's clear that the GM and Conroy and others, including everyone that works with the Heat, would have liked to see more than 11 minutes over 2 games from Phillips hit a post, like added pace. And it's like he's a UFA this summer. Now, maybe he's not an NHLer. Maybe he's going to go to Zurich and bank 200,000 Swiss francs a year for the rest of his life. And it wasn't going to happen. But they didn't find out here. And that's back to asset management stuff. And the GM wanted to, or he wouldn't have called him up.
Wait.
The coach was not on the same page as the GM. This is a big problem.
Stop right there. You're bang on with Phillips. You can't score right now. You're in the muck. The team's not a good group. They don't care enough. Bring Phillips up, get Lucic and Lewis out of the flipping lineup and play kids. For Christ's sakes, you have 19 games left. Find out what they are.
Remember when we were sweating
Find
too much?
out what they are.
That's gone away.
And he was so mad at me.
He was very mad. You can't be saying this. Kids might be listening. And a hard JC there. All right. Teasing you.
Well,
you're dead on. That's why it's frustrating, right?
And you can be mad at the Phillips thing in the 2 games in the 11 minutes. You have 9. That's why they got rid of Valimaki. It was the end of that year, and he wouldn't play him. Play him. What are you proving? Bring the kids in. Lucic is gone in 19 games, and you don't want him back anyway. Or if you do, you're an idiot. And Lewis, I'm sorry, it's over. You had your run. You were great.
PTOs.
We loved you. It's not now, and it's the next stage of life. That's what happens to us all. You've got kids that have played well for the Wranglers, and you can't score goals, and there's no downside to playing the piss out of them now.
Connor Zari's had a nice DC year too there.
I was going to say the Wranglers on the weekend in a shootout beat the Colorado Eagles 6-5. Matthew Phillips tied the game with about 2.5 left with his 28th of the season.
And I also sort of look, again, no one's here saying he's 100% absolutely an NHLer. It's just a shame he never really got a chance. Less than 11 minutes in 2 games is the career line. 902 this year in 2 games. Jesus.
And again, okay, I love my repeat today, I guess. Where's the common sense in any of this? Where?
No,
where?
There's a problem here.
Where?
There's a problem.
Explain to me. Come out and explain to me that, okay, well, we don't want to screw up the Wranglers season. Okay, well, I guess, but people don't really give a crap about that. That's a cheesy one if you ask me, right? If there's rationale behind some of these decisions, and maybe they don't feel obligated to let us know these things, but we're pretty good about reading tea leaves and being around the game and kind of understanding a lot of things. Not everything. We're certainly not perfect in any way, but usually you can see a train of thought or why this approach or why that. I can't grasp any of this. I don't get it. Like it doesn't make any flipping sense. Zip.
I mean, I think we all know what's happening here. I think the GM and the coach aren't on the same page, as we said for months, or alluded to.
Well, then
for
put them
months.
in a room together and let them figure it out.
Does that seem like something Daryl would be amenable to? That just,
Don't give a
meeting in the middle?
Just because you think you're, well, I'm maybe it's not his problem. Maybe it's the other guy. But I don't care. I don't care. We deserve better.
Totally. Yeah, I agree with that.
And for Daryl, he's Daryl.
He's got his
This
extension.
is the only Daryl he knows, is the Daryl that we see. He's got jewelry. He's one of the winningest and tenured coaches in NHL history. Who is going to go into that office and tell him that the way he's doing things isn't the right way to do it?
I think there's only one guy that can, and he's in Switzerland most of the time, or London. I mean, I just don't see anyone higher on the food chain than Daryl right now. When you look at all the issues Rhett's pointed out, if there's a tie, like GM wants this, coach wants that, who's getting their way here? It's been the coach.
Again, I think that's shameful, and I'm disappointed in both of them. Grow up. I mean, I know them both.
Well, and there's
and if
the other
that's
dynamics,
the problem, go ahead.
GM's up at the end of the year. Coach has a 3-year extension, is what is rumored. Like it's
the
power dynamics are not even, Steven. No, and this is an owner issue. Like you cannot enable this situation to be this way.
Would you like a fun fact?
Yes, please.
Well, let's take a look. Now, I was looking I thought I saw it over the weekend. Dryden Hunt, the new member of the Wranglers, scored his 5th of the season for the Wranglers in the 3rd period. From Kenny Albert.
Wow.
If Dryden Hunt scores a goal for Calgary this season, he would be the first NHL player to ever score for 4 teams in one season. Dennis O'Brien, Dave McElwain, Mark Arcobello, and Jussi Jokinen previously played for 4 teams in a single season. So they played for 4 in 1 year. They haven't scored.
Now, is that organizationally or at the NHL level?
Well, I think it's NHL. He'd be the first NHL player.
Yeah.
So get him up. While we're talking about bringing guys up, let's go. Let Dryden Hunt set a little NHL history,
Yeah, he did play with all 3 this year. Wow. Okay.
Give us
1 in 3 games with the Rangers, 1 in 25 games with Colorado, 1 in 9 games with the Leafs. There you go.
He has bounced around.
Yep. Prior to that, Arizona. Prior to that, Florida. That's 6th team. He's a good little mucker grinder. I would love to see him in on that 4th line if the changes Rhett's suggesting were to be made. If you had a Dewar, Hunt, and another keen young centerman there, that would be a lot of piss and vinegar, right?
But just like us begging for a jersey, we won't get our wish.
Were we?
Jersey.
Yeah. Speaking of jerseys,
Spotify.
Look at this guy. This week we're going to give this one away. A couple more days to promo and get your way in on this. Woo. A Beauty Blasty, authentic tie downs, sewn on cresting and everything.
We may suck, but at least we look good.
Come on now. It's autographed by Elias Lindholm. There it is.
On the back there.
I'd say Pinder should model it, but he'd get some sort of hot sauce on it or something.
Well, no one wants me wearing it. That'll hurt the resale.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. That is courtesy of the Hearing Loss Clinic. Rhodesy and the Hearing Loss Clinic. Donating some jerseys for you, the Barn Burner listeners, 4 Calgary locations. If you feel like you're having some issues with your hearing, you've just, I got bad hearing. It doesn't have to be that way. You can get your assessment, get some treatment. They're not looking to sell you hearing aids or whatever. They just want you to have some clarity on what's going on with your hearing. A 2022 Chamber of Commerce Professional Service Excellence Award winner. They're the best at what they do. Bottom line. Hearingloss.ca. You see it there, the website on your screen, on Twitter at The Hearing Loss, Instagram, The Hearing Loss Clinic. Slide by, great people, great clinic, cutting edge technology in there to get in there and figure out what's going on with your hearing. There's different things. Obviously, I would say go to the website, because I went there and there's some things they do I didn't even realize that they would do, but it could apply to you. I suggest you check it out. Hearingloss.ca.
Wanted to two things. First off, I've completely mismanaged my day because I have to piss like 10 out of 10 right now, and we got like an hour left in the show. So I'm gonna but I also wanted to maybe get you started on something here, or I can hold. But Nick Ritchie, we haven't really talked about.
Yeah.
And I just think Nick Ritchie's tools are what Daryl dreams of. Nick Ritchie's work ethic is going to drive him batty unless it changes here. And it kind of feels like last call for Nick Ritchie, the former, top 15 pick that's now in his late 20s.
Yeah, you know what this one feels like to me when they added Chris Stewart?
Yeah.
The 1 year. Well, he was good for Colorado a few years ago. A big guy tell you, he is going to frustrate the shit out of everybody.
Talking to people that scout, this is going to be an absolute nightmare with Daryl, and it'll be interesting to see how it starts, because everyone can work hard for a couple shifts, but if he's doing it for full games over consecutive games, that's a first.
Rosie.
Yeah, well, if Rosie was doughy.
I'm just saying, go do your thing, Pinder, but I'm just, this guy has had enough. He's been given enough rope. I was not against the trade or anything. I would be stunned to see Nick Ritchie in a Flames uniform in 2 years. Like, I'm shocked. Like,
to me, this is it.
What are we talking about?
And I mean, what are you going to do? It's a trade deadline. What can you do? Brett.
I'm not against the trade.
Yeah. And if you're going to trade for him, you got to play him. Do you put him on the fourth line? I don't know.
So wait, which Ritchie do we have now?
Nick.
Okay,
Brett is gone. Nick
our
is
old
in.
Our old employer's website is they don't even have it updated, so it's not even.
Well,
I can't even find
what you going there for. Yeah, you don't go there.
Anyway.
Well, he landed in Toronto, and he was going to be a goal-scoring answer and a big body, and that didn't last long. And then he was ditched off to Arizona with his fat contract and that. He's a UFA at the end of the year. If I had to guess, this is just run out the clock on the year. Maybe Troy Stetcher. Out of everything, and there's not much to talk about with it because we don't have any clarity on it, and I don't think we'll get it because it's kind of a sensitive issue, is the lost year for Oliver Shillington. It didn't help the team. No. I don't know what. It certainly didn't help him in terms of his progression, because remember last year he played that first game as a forward. They went with whatever it was, the extra forwards that night.
Last year he was an absolute find, right? Like, I mean, I think going into his draft year, he was supposed to be really high, and then he dropped, and you took him, and then you wondered for a while, and you're like, I don't see it, maybe, but nah. And then last year, like, this guy's good. This guy's good.
Mm-hmm.
We just found a top 4 defenseman that you didn't think was coming at all, right? Like, it was kind of like, and perhaps that played into some of the Valimaki stuff. I don't know. Either way, even if you think Shillington's going to be here and playing well this year, it doesn't excuse what happened with Valimaki for me. But losing him, hugely detrimental to the squad. I mean, he chewed up lots of minutes. The only issue I have, and I don't think you're saying it, but to think that he was going to be the difference between making the playoffs and not, he helps.
No.
But he's not a leader, and he's not going to change Daryl. Walk into the office and get guys excited. He's not a emotional rah guy, rally the troops kind of guy. Like, he'd have chewed up minutes, and he'd have been better than some of the options they had to play. But I don't think he has enough.
No, when you write the, when the tombstone or whatever goes up on the season, you write the eulogy or the postmortem. That's one of the things that you wouldn't have expected. The goaltending to go the way it did, Huberdeau, just everything. And to have this guy not show up
At
all
all.
season.
Yep.
I don't know if you change things in the offseason. You probably can't, but it's just another thing that you could not have forecast going sideways on this team that has.
Yeah, I don't know when they first got the word, but we didn't hear until training camp that he's not here. And you're like, oh, well, maybe he'll be here in 2 weeks. And then it was, oh, there's no timetable. There's no timetable. Well, maybe by Christmas. No, okay, but the deadline. Well, no, he's not here.
Yeah.
And interestingly, he's a UFA next summer. So you can add him to the 6 names already there. So even if he does return, he would be one of 4 defensemen on expiring contracts. Hanifin, Tanev, Zadorov, and Shillington up next year. Lindholm, Backlund, Toffoli up front. That is just a huge number of guys that you would call core guys.
Tonight, it is the Stars hosting the Flames. Rhett Warner and myself with a little afterburner for you tonight after the hockey game.
And tomorrow with me, Rhett, for the rematch of that scintillating Saturday night against the Wild.
I'm really excited for it. Really excited to do these. I mean, they've been good luck and they've been insightful and pleasant ordeals. It's going to be great.
Really excited for it. Yeah, I share it. I'll tune in. I won't miss it.
I have a passion for this year's Flames team.
Yeah. Let's we're gonna do the Pinder report. Want to remind you about Vina Nova, Calgary's only lab-grown diamond specialist. The only store in Calgary, that's all they do.
That's all they do.
Which means, well, if we're doing the one thing, we're gonna specialize in it. We're gonna be the best at it, and that's what they are. Largest selection of loose lab-grown diamonds and jewelry in town.
Loose.
Yeah, you can,
right.
Kind of like dice. Savings for lab-grown diamonds can be as much as 80% off. Maybe you want to go in, select one that they've got there. They have a great selection. Or maybe you want to custom design something with Justin and that. You can do that too. VinaNova.com is the website. The showroom downtown, second level of Stephen Avenue Place. And as we've been telling you for weeks and weeks, lab-grown diamonds, it's the same chemical composition and crystal structure as a natural earth mined diamond. Why pay 40, 50, 80% more? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. The only thing that matters and makes sense is going to Vina Nova and VinaNova.com. Like we said, I guess spring is when you engage your others or whatever. So if that's your thing. If you're engaging your others, you need a ring. It's Vina Nova.
You want a long-term deal with your roommate, Dean? You go see Vina Nova.
Yeah, you're going in on a long-term
extension with the roommate.
Yeah.
Person that you live with.
There you have it.
So good.
The Pinder Report is a presentation of Village Honda. The new CR-V Hybrid is in. The new Honda Passport Trail Sport in stock. The new Honda Accord is coming soon. All new generation, redefined sophistication and styling. The Honda Accord, we'll have more about that in the coming weeks. But Village Honda, they're your dealership for life in the Northwest Auto Mall. Visit them today. The website, villagehonda.com. The Pinder Report.
All righty, fellows. We last time we gathered, just ahead of the deadline, probably a quiet day for the Flames. Oh, hold your horses. There were deals to be made. Let's take a look at how the trade deadline wrapped up for the Flames with a big swap with Arizona. DCOTT. Deck chairs on the Titanic. Okay, so Troy Stetcher's in, right side of the third pair. He'll wear 51. Nick Ritchie will wear 27. He gets traded for his brother. First brother? Brother's got a hug trade of all time in NHL history. And Connor Mackey will get to play in Arizona. We just don't know if he'll play well.
Brett Ritchie is laughing at his brother. Sorry, he's just laughing. He's going, have fun in Calgary, bud. I'll be staying at your house.
Say hi to Daryl for me.
Leave a key to your place under the rug.
Both of them can play that game.
You got flip-flops and board shorts for me when I get there, right? I mean,
is the heater on in the pool? Is the heater on in the pool? Or where do I turn
42 waist, Nick? That's too big for me.
Big ass.
42.
Big
My
ass.
goodness.
That is a big ass. Hey, if Berkey says it's a big ass, I'm taking his word on it.
I you know what? I might be wrong on that. Maybe it was Leon, but
it might have been Leon. That's a good call.
Somebody texted. I don't know. Either way, both big ass. One guy, Leon, Nick, probably better at the game of hockey than the other. But
both very toolsy. It's really not a lot separating the tools of the. We'll see how it goes. Richie will make his debut on the second line tonight on the left side of Kadri and Huberdeau. The other minor deal, Radim Zohorna, who they got off waivers. They turn into Dryden Hunt, who's a responsible fourth line checker with some mustard in his game. Would love to see him up. Not sure if we will, given the jewelry club and such.
My kid asked me the other day, "Hey, Dad, can you make some ham?"
Can you make some ham?
Yeah. Can you make some ham? What's this about? And I don't know where she just wanted to use the mustard. We've got some of that kind of with the seeds, the mustard
Grainy.
seeds. Yeah. You just want to use that mustard, don't you? Yeah.
I make some ham so I can have some of this mustard.
I'm pretty proud of her. Not a lot of kids are digging mustard to the point she's asking me to make a meal just so she can have the mustard. How about that? You know?
Yeah. So there you are. That was Friday, and the boys must have been just absolutely pumped to welcome in their new teammates as they hosted the Wild to wrap their 3-game homestand. Let's go to the final moments of the game. Volume up for this, my friends.
Textbook 8 games, 7-0-1, and they will improve with this one to 8, or make that 9-1-2 in their last 12 games.
Yeah, let's see. Booed off the ice, my friends. That was with 90 seconds left.
Textbook 8 games, 7-0-1, and they will improve with this one to 8, or make that 9-1-2 in their last 12 games.
Wow. You know, Daryl has a lot of respect for the fans in Calgary. He always talks about, the real fans, they believe. The real fans are cheering for us. Unlike some of you media people here wanting us to lose, huh? What did Daryl have to say about the booing after Saturday's game?
Textbook 8 games, 7-0-1, and they will improve with this one to 8, or make that 9-1-2 in their last 12 games. Textbook 8 games, 7-0-1, and they
A lot of melon and ball here. Feels like that's stuck on. Thank you, God.
What's that record?
Daryl said I'd be booing too, which wasn't the most robust defense of his team I've ever seen. And I get it. They were flat as shit.
Well, and he said that he didn't think they were booing the players. I mean, here he is. Look at him. There he is.
Here you go, Daryl. This cherry red
Heard
tie
the
there.
fans booing at the end. Do you blame them?
Well, when you lose, I'd boo too, right? I mean, I don't think they're booing the team.
Who are they booing?
As I said, our top players got to be better players. That's for sure.
So they're only booing individuals, I think, is what Daryl's alluding to. I'm not
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Here's your overview of the Calgary Flames. They've got, what, 19 left,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
It's a lot of hockey.
19. They're the
Lot of hockey.
teens.
Yeah, that's teens. Not great at a lot of things that you want to be good at in hockey right now. 0 goals in their last 5 periods, our rough math earlier today. And if you want to look at the standings in the West, they're still not good for the Flames, which you'd expect with 3 wins in 13 games since the All-Star break. Here's a peek at the West, which is not a great look for the Calgary Flames right now. Winnipeg, who have dropped 7 of 9, remain 7 points up, games played even on the Calgary Flames. Now, if they want to lose 7 of their next 9, I mean, by just opening
Very
the door,
helpful.
probably Nashville might walk in if they're opening the door. That's going to be Calgary. Finally, here's the stats we saw from earlier. There's the Flames on the season. Those ranks are no good. Penalty kills plummeted, boys. It was top 5 or top 7 for a long time this year. It's a no bueno. And
packing. That speaks to packing it in, Pinder, because penalty killing is about having effort and having to outwork and block shots and pay a price. That is a great indicator of where their heads are at.
Their shooting percentage, 2nd worst in the league. Their goaltending, 4th worst in the league. Those are tough things to overcome if you're not getting luck at either end, or you're just not finishing or getting finished. Either way, we'll move along. Here's their last 3 weeks. They've been downright awful. Bottom 5 in the league. They had that big win against Seattle heading into the All-Star break. They played really well the Monday coming out of All-Star break against the Rangers, get an overtime point there, and then it's just been gross. 2-5-3 in the last 3 weeks. It's 28th out of a 32-team league. This was crunch time. This is let's see what you're made of. Send your GM a message heading into the deadline. Message sent. This ain't it. There is good news in hockey in Calgary, though. Do you know? Did you know that?
Oh, it's cold today. The outdoor rink should be great.
Yeah, it's great flooding weather. Yeah. Right? The University of Calgary Dinosaurs, the Dinos, are off to the national championship. Says they offed the Golden Bears in the Western Final, down 1-0 after 40 minutes.
Golden
Rhett.
Bears.
And a do or die game 3. This is awesome stuff.
Along the wall, the Dinos drought is over. The University of Calgary Dinos are Canada West men's hockey champions for the first time since 1996.
96. That is a long time ago. Is that your draft year?
First year pro, Pinder.
Wow. So 96 last time they won Canada West. And MRU had a phenomenal regular season. They got upset by Saskatchewan. Yeah. Those games are well attended. I was at games 2 or 3 of that series. This is a great thing happening in this city. U Sports hockey might be the biggest hidden gem in terms of caliber of hockey out there. And the two teams of Calgary, really strong seasons. The Dinos, I believe they eclipsed 20 wins in a row at one point. Incredible stuff. They're off to Charlottetown, PEI, don't you know?
Oh,
where they'll face off against, the hosts and champions for the national championship. Best of luck, Dinos. Congrats to Mark Howell and his crew.
Fun rink when it's jammed like that, right? When it's one
FTB.
Of those smaller rinks and it's big fat crowd in there. Awesome.
Love to see it. Okay, so we'll move from the Calgary scene to the NHL national scene. Very interesting things happening in Tampa Bay, Retro. John Cooper benches Kucherov and Stamkos. I believe it was Friday night. Didn't like their effort. And, look at this. Pushing serious buttons and point for the entire third period. That was the Buffalo game you talked about. Well, what would you expect after that, Retro?
By scratching or benching?
Benching, yes. For the third period.
Okay,
yeah. They played, but they didn't play the third. Yeah, sorry. Wrong.
Well, it's Chris
verb.
Johnson.
A little confusing.
Come on, Chris. Fucking clean it up.
Apologies for that.
So
then Michael Russo will weigh in. Okay, so how will they respond? Now, next thing you know, they're okay. So now you got Carolina on Sunday. John Cooper on TNT talked about those guys setting the standard. They didn't meet it 99% of the time. They're the ones that are helping us win. They weren't. Boom, boom, boom. So how do the Tampa Bay Lightning respond, Rhett? How about 4 shots through 2 periods of play against Carolina? 0 in the second period. There's John Shannon. 4-0 through 40. No shots in the second. 4 shots through 2 periods. That's your pushback? That's your response to your coach? They would lose 6-0 to Carolina in a battle of, 2 teams we consider amongst the elite in the NHL. It was not close. Freddie Anderson's first shutout of the year for the Hurricanes. That was a slobber knocking. And there's Jesperi Kotkaniemi with a 5-point game. Habs fans enjoy that.
John Cooper is going to have to do some heavy stick handling to get this team back on track. You pull a bench job.
Before we get to the overall, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, you bench your top guys and they respond with that.
That's sending a message back.
That's
14 shots.
Not good. That ain't pretty. Cooper's head might be on the block.
What did you say about the penalty kill, Rhett? That's just effort and communication. And
yes,
1 for 5 on the penalty kill for Tampa. It's like they didn't work for their coach after he called them out.
Huh.
Still waiting for Puljujarvi to arrive for the Canes. Gostisbehere, as you see there, he has 2 power play goals in the last 2 games.
And
so he's fit in nicely.
When Puljujarvi gets there, they could go all Finn if they wanted on a checking line. Teravainen and Kotkaniemi combined for 8 points. That's a pretty good duo of Finns.
This Lightning thing is great news for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I was just going to say, we talk about the 2-3 in that Atlantic division. Boston's going to win it running away. Are we seeing some cracks here, or is this just the 82-game season and over the course of it, there's bumps for everyone?
No, this is people getting sick of each other. That's why I had to come down here, get away from you guys for a while.
Yeah.
Well, too bad Boom can't leave. He's been trying to do that for years.
Christ. Please.
Damn pandemic moved me from afternoons back to mornings with this
God
asshole.
almighty. Guy quits. You'd think I'd be the. Oh, you're coming too? Oh, good. Great.
How are the new guys fitting in, Rhett? Timo Meier, how about first period as a Devil? Let's take a peek. Timo Meier, a Devil, and scoring.
Oh, look, it's the baby barn.
It's the Mullet Arena.
Oh, it's the baby barn.
A good reaching stick from Zach Cassian on the back check, broke it up. Hughes feeds, Hamilton rips, big save, Ingram, Meier on the rebound, he scores! Welcome to New Jersey, Timo Meier!
That's going to be a fun 2-3 as well, Rhett. Rangers, Devils, potentially. Love it.
And it caroms nicely to Hamilton for the good opportunity. Big save initially by Ingram. One more look. You see Meier gets
and if
that
we want,
it's a bouncing puck. He just gets it to an open area behind the net.
Now they need overtime to win that
Try to get it in front to Hamilton. He banks it off the net.
What a conference. Who cares about that loser point? Look at two.
Look at those jerseys.
Speaking of debuts, you don't like them?
No, I don't.
I don't mind the outsides. It's the
friggin' cactuses on their pants. Grow up.
You don't like the lightning pants either.
No, you got lightning bolts in your fucking pants. Figure it out.
Jonathan Quick made his Vegas debut. He hung on to beat the Montreal Canadiens as well. This was unusual, Red, to see John Quick in anything but silver, white, and black. Yeah, gets the dub for Vegas, who continue to pace the Pacific.
That really is. That's mouth watering, right?
Oh,
the
yeah.
potential there.
Oh, yeah.
Because it didn't.
Quick
not only
against
is
his
it could he
old
play, screw your former team. A lot of guys move on or whatever, but this was so publicly bitter.
And as Frank said, I'd forgotten, it was weeks left in a 10-year pact that would allow him to essentially have his whole career as a King. Because I don't know that he's back next year. Who knows? We'll see. But weeks away.
We've traded you ... to Columbus. Last place.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to end up in Vegas, and now I'm going to stick it right in your shitter.
I don't know how quickly you got this helmet done, but take a peek. It's got the gold Vegas on it.
I know.
It's either got a good sticker store there, or some artist is just
and his pads too. They can do that now with the
pants.
Stickers,
the helmets. I'm a little more impressed.
See the gold there? You just slap it on there.
All right.
Yeah.
VGK. That does spice things up a little.
Tell you what, I still hate Vegas though. Doesn't make me want to cheer for him.
Unless playing Edmonton. Fuck, I love.
Yeah,
Vegas,
from the team you love to cheer for to the team you love to hate, right? Like it's Vegas Knights, kind of.
Still don't like him.
Oh, for Quick, this would turn his stomach a week ago. Now those are his boys. All of a sudden, happens quick in Vegas.
Be like you wearing a Blue Bomber jersey, retro.
Never happen. Never.
Couple notes and notes. Non-NHL. Derek Carr's got a new home. Hey, former Raiders quarterback. He's heading to the Big Easy, Rhett. Nolans. Look at that. Jacked up to be going. He posted that this morning. It's apparently a 4-year pact. Do you know? And what it was is, I don't know if you saw it, but the Raiders played the Saints this year. He must have been phenomenal. Let's check in on the box score. 24-0 Derek Carr, 50-26 with a pick, 100 yard. Never mind.
How couldn't you?
Sorry.
I mean, that's that pre-scouting.
Dear.
Game action.
Well, it's the visitors' room. They painted it that day. Once he gets on the home side, it's all gonna.
Well, and you're up against Andy Dalton. What are you gonna do?
That's
you don't
right.
get to touch the ball.
Come on. All you can do is hope to contain him. And finally, fellas, the weekend. I wanted to get a rink breakfast sandwich update for you.
That's
Hit
right.
the spot.
So what were you doing?
We had kid hockey in Carstairs, U9 tournament.
Right.
So we had a Friday night, 2 Saturdays, a Sunday morning, back, and kids zonked out like at their dinner plates. Awesome. They're like
Champs!
Yeah.
Champs.
They're all
Show up
champions.
and get
U9.
everyone's a
Everyone.
champion. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Champs.
Good breakfast sandwich at the barn. Yeah.
Nice.
Compliments. They did accept debit, which was new, no credit. So, just catching up, a little behind. Great barn in Carstairs, retro. You'd love it. Seating all the way around. Carstairs team had some kids. It's like the Cuban national team. I wanted to check some birth certificates.
So which of these coaches, because you said 2 of the guys are total assholes, which 2 are they?
No, it was, I was one. And, the one guy's not wearing the team jacket. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, you said that there's 2 guys that I'm coaching with. Like,
Absolute clowns.
They're complete dickheads.
Well, the one should be incarcerated for sure. And
Yeah.
I don't know how he's legal right now. Anyway, great group, great team, great fun. And my kid in net there has got one of the best Lloyd Christmases you'll ever see there. Look at that bowl cut right front middle.
I like it.
All right, it's Pinder Report, boys.
Why are you letting him be a goalie? Or...
He wants to, trust me.
Oh,
I'm not pushing that one.
son.
I know. And then he won MVP that game. It's a horrible, horrible thing. He wants to be a goalie.
Go ahead, Dean.
Village Honda. Get those detailing packages, would you? Start at only $79.95. Protect your vehicle from the harsh elements of winter. Beyond that, just do it for yourself. Treat yourself. Nice, clean car. Oh, that smell. Because when you do it, they're doing the cleaning that you're not gonna do. You might wash. Oh, it gets. They're getting in the cup holders. This is detailing package. Detailing. VillageHonda.com is the website. Visit them today in the Northwest Auto Mall. They're your dealership for life.
For life.
For life. Yeah, we talked about
6th of March.
That.
Now I feel sheepish that I was ranting because I listened to a podcast this morning when I was on the stair climber about being rational and not speaking when you have emotion. You got to take a step back. I feel like I got to re-listen to that podcast. I might have been irrational with my emotional ranting earlier.
I think it was emotional, but I think it was from the heart.
I think also that podcast, if everyone was acting like that, they'd make really shitty podcasts. Well, I'd like to take the long view, and maybe we'll collect in a couple of weeks, and I'll give you my opinion. But
that's a good point. Yeah. Listen, it's a great question. I'm going to get.
I'll get back to you on that.
I'll be honest. I'll be frank.
Oh,
there's a lot of sports media podcasts, whatever, and you'll hear guys ranting and raving. And you wonder, is that for show? Is that for effect? Is this some hot take-attitude, some hot takery here? That's not what you're doing. You're being honest. And I don't think anybody that sits here thinks, oh, this is Reddy's trying to be a Stephen A. Smith. It's like, that doesn't cross anybody's mind. You played for the team, you know the coach, and you know the situation. You're just being honest. And God forbid a guy's passionate about it. Awesome.
Well, thanks.
I couldn't give it.
You don't care.
No.
Wait till you see the projected playoff revenue we had. Then you'll start giving a shit.
Oh. Yeah. But again, that's why it's BS. Do better. And shame on the players. We harp on the GM. We've given shit to the management and the owners and the coaches and blah, blah. You guys play the game. Feel free to have it matter to you.
My kid said to me, because we had the game on, I was watching the game Saturday, and then after hours, you got Nazem Kadri.
How'd that go?
My kid walks in, and did they lose? Because I think he saw it at 1-0, 2-0. I'm like, yeah, it was 3-0. He's like, 3-0? God. So he's kind of standing there watching after hours. He's like, why is he so happy? And Kadri's just kind of talking about winning the cup and stuff he did. He's like,
then I brought the cup back to London and we had a great time.
Like, what's he so happy about? Well, he's doing this thing. He can't just be mopey or whatever. And then I keep watching for a while. Yeah, he's pretty happy. That loss does not seem to be out.
Gotta flush it.
Kadri's real good at talking Kadri. Kadri's real good at Kadri. Just ask him.
Yeah.
What's going on over there? You all right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's all fine.
Rash?
It's all great, eh?
Alex is back at
World Control
there.
Did we show the East standings today? I feel like we forgot to show the East standings. How excited is Alex right now?
I was going to say, for Alex today, my gift to him, the Ottawa Senators are one of the hottest teams since the All-Star break. You showed the All-Star break, the Flames, 29th, I believe, 29th best record since the All-Star break. The Sens have gone 8-3-1. And take a look.
Come on.
They got some games left. They got some running. Did you see last week?
Oh, look at this. Look at those arbitrary endpoints.
Yeah, there it is. Since Jan 25, percentage. top 5 point percentage. 12-3-1. Decent.
Second best. Holy.
And did you see last week, Retro? We talked about it. We really didn't get when friggin' Tkachuk was calling on the bench of the Detroit Red Wings.
Who wants it?
Hey, which
Who
one
wants
of you
next?
fuckers wants some? Hey, any of you guys going to have some balls? No one did.
And Stevie Y immediately sold the whole franchise.
Yeah.
Fucking Verana, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, we're not winning this year. If no one's going to stand up to Brady Tkachuk, we're done. Trade everything.
And then they go and pick up the chick dog.
Love the chick dog.
Is that good, Alex? Is that enough?
And Alex, do let us know when they're going to face teams' number 1 goalies. We'd love to get that.
There's Jeff. Thank you from Boca Raton. I don't think it's old. Jacob Chikrin sat for how long? 2 weeks?
Almost 3,
yeah. So there he is.
Chick dog.
The old chick dog.
Do you recall how the chick dog became the chick dog in the desert? The Wings sent 16 overall. I think that's right. Yeah, he was picked 16 with Pavel Datsyuk and took the much later Yotes first rounder and took one of the names that we had a tough time with at the Dome, Chilliwack Bruin.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll just trade back, give him Datsyuk's money, turn into the chick dog. It's a nice little move for
Very
the Yotes.
nice. They got some young guys in the wings there too that haven't made the graduation.
Nice young decor in Ottawa. That's a nice young decor they got going.
Who else do you like back there? Sanderson's in what, his first full pro campaign?
Yeah.
And then Shabbat and Zub would round up the top 4.
Bernard Docker.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you got to front some Ridley Greig. Got some good players. Oh, yes, for sure.
Weird how
yeah. There's Jake Samson.
Third pair guy. It's a lot to pay for him.
Yeah.
Wow, geez.
Oh, well. Good for so there you go, Alex. You're welcome for that. Other teams that have been on a heater, not surprisingly, Boston,
Carolina,
Vegas, LA, and New Jersey. Those are the 4 teams since the All-Star break with the best winning percentage.
Did we just see Carolina at the top of that graphic?
That was from January.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Because Ottawa wasn't in this
in
this one, so you had to
Didn't
find
use
that
the
one.
arbitrary
Yeah, you had
inputs,
to find
so
that one.
That's right.
There it is.
There
Again.
it is,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. And the Flyers. I got to do yet today. I got to keep it. All right. Flyers took some heat for not getting rid of James Van Riemsdyk.
Yeah.
UFA looked like he was going to what? Detroit. Detroit couldn't get a second deal done, and then they had to yank it off the table at the last minute. He was one of those guys that was maybe linked here. A winger, scoring winger. I was not a fan. Have not been a fan.
There's some skills there, but I just don't know that if he was coveted, they would have got what they wanted.
Since Jan 31, 12 games, 1 goal, 1 assist.
That didn't help, did it?
It's not. So I'm not sure about Chuck Fletcher. I don't know that he's a great GM.
I think you know what he is.
I don't think he's a very good GM.
Thank you.
And I'd like to pile on for him not getting rid of an impending UFA.
Yeah.
Even still, it feels like that's a guy you could have got something for.
100% you could have. What you need to do if you're the Flyers is come out on the offensive like Brian Burke did and say, teams aren't going to bend us over for Mike Camilleri, and then next year they call us and everything's a deal. We can't accept that. We'd rather have nothing than a late pick.
You know what we need to do? Can I just get a 2-shot with Rhett and I, please?
So I'll just plug my ears here if you want.
Yeah, just pretend. It's
just earmuffs.
Sidebar retro.
Mm-hmm.
What I need to do is we need to do a segment or a bit or whatever where I will bring up, I'll show you ahead of time, like a card trick, where Pinder is going to go, and then just bring it up somewhere over the course of the show, because I knew by talking about JVR and not trading him that he was going to go to Mike Camilleri not getting dealt, and Brian Burke saying that it'll be great. We'll send him off to go pee. We'll show everybody what we'll have a little card or something.
Yeah.
Here's what he's going to talk about.
It's the match game.
Yeah.
It's the newlywed game.
Welcome. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, Ryan, how you doing? Good to see
you. My bad. Sorry.
He's in on it. Son of a.
Damn it. But what made that one worse is he didn't have 1 goal in 12 games prior to the deadline. He was.
Yeah. And I just thought that was such a load of hooey from Berkey. It's like, you're not going to be the GM next year. And Mark, like, prices change every year at the deadline. We saw 13 first rounders go this year. We've seen years where it's like 1, 2. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Get something. It's better than nothing.
This fucking team,
That's another one.
you start going
Well,
back.
that
no
is
hot-
another one. Like we could
No.
go back over a long history of guys that brought back all. So
It's a pick-me-up Monday.
Kiprasov.
Yeah, Mika, what was it?
Well, they had a
it's,
deal.
It's me or the coach. Okay, well, see you, Mika.
They had a deal. He wasn't going to go.
Well, again, understand what the F is going on organizationally, and maybe you don't have to trade your franchise goalie, the only guy that makes you look good.
Bob Hartley or Mika. Pick carefully, Calgary Flames. Oh, you picked Hartley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well done.
Coming up at the Grey Eagle Event Center,
Griggs.
it is the World Cup. Muay Thai World Cup 7.
Oh, when?
Saturday,
I'm in.
March 25th. It is the road to the championship quarterfinals. Winners advance, take a step towards the $100,000 grand prize of a contract with the One Championship. The best North American Muay Thai combatants battle. They have the 4-ounce gloves, and if you want to advance in this, obviously in this championship and in the tournament, this is the quarterfinals. And go to the Grey Eagle website and check it out. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.ca. Tickets for every event is through Ticketmaster, but they have already kind of laid out. Things can change, but the fighters and how it's going to go. And if this is one of those, if you've never been,
buckle up.
yeah,
Great
this is.
time.
You're going to be wondering how the hell you haven't done it before in your life, because it is violent. And the thing about it is there's no
you
ground
go to
and
an
pound, right? That's the thing.
no.
Yeah,
You
that's
go to
just
an
one
MMA fight. You go to an MMA fight and you can fall asleep because they get on the ground, and I get it. It's tough, and they're all great at that, but it's boring to watch two guys wrestling on the ground for 25 minutes. These Muay Thai guys are standing there kicking the piss out of each other. It's ow. Ow, you can hear the smacks. You're like, ow, 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 ow.
Now, did you compete in this?
Because remember
Yeah.
back in the day,
Yeah,
you would
runner
do
up,
the show
runner up,
and then go right to Muay Thai.
runner up. Cooney cheap shotted me in the equilibrium, and I couldn't get up.
Pardon me?
Yeah. Cooney's got a great kick.
Well, I did
on the ear.
till he snapped his Achilles twice, and like an idiot.
Oh.
It was.
Did he
Spent
really?
2 years in a cast.
2 years?
So fat. Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on now. You know what? He could be in a cast. I still don't want any part of Cooney. No, thank you.
Yeah, kick me
Yes,
with the
Muay Thai.
cast, it'll be worse.
Yeah. World Cup 7, Saturday, March 25th, the Road to One Championship quarterfinals. Get your tickets, be there. That will be a fun day. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Griggs.
We'll be figuring out, we're going back to the Griegs at some point this
We
month.
have to. I have a couple dates I want to run past old Retro, but then again, he's in Buffalo, so who the fuck cares? This is a good month for sports. I'll leave it as vague as that. But we're going to find a couple little shoehorn us in for some good TV time at the Grey Eagle, pitchers, wings, free coffee all day. Let's roll.
And that's special at the Grey Eagle.
It's too good to be
pitcher
true.
and wings
No,
special.
it's true.
If you're there to watch the game,
Yeah.
tonight, the game,
Yeah.
$12, plate of wings, jug of beer.
Not each. All together.
And guys are like, oh, so what do you get? There's 2 pints in those jugs.
Yeah, it's not a huge
And
jug, but
what
it's
do you-
still
what do you get?
it's a
10,
fair
10
amount.
12 wings?
At least it does. Yeah.
Decent. It's $12.
I'm giving up free wings when I'm at the Grey Eagle. That's how I'm rolling.
You are. Yeah. So was Wolfie when we were there the
Is
last
Wolfie
time.
doing it too?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think he had a couple. The waitress comes by. Oh, so are you guys done with everything? Yeah. I'm
Ah,
done. So
give
you're
these away.
you're done
Ah.
with these? Yeah. I'm done. I'll have another
Smoke,
beer.
Pitcher.
Betway Bets of the Day. Let's take a
There we
look.
are.
Betway Bets of the Day. The Flames are playing the Dallas Stars tonight down in Dallas.
Big D in Big D.
That's right.
Wow.
Rupe
Now you're piling
Henson
on.
on goal. Plus 162. Rupe had a hat trick a couple games ago against Chicago. He has 6 goals in his last 5 games.
Do it, Roop.
He's got that big fat wallet making over $8 million.
Ooh, big ass. The wallet.
Plus 162 for an anytime goal.
Wow, look at this.
And Joe Pavelski loves to put it right in the keister of the Flames.
He does.
I was
yes, right in the chops.
He just got off the
55
schneid, too.
game. That feels light.
Oh, boy.
Like every time you turn around that little...
You know what that didn't include?
Huh?
That fucking playoff series in the bubble where he just ran their fucking show after we said, oh, maybe he's a little too old now, 2 games in, and then they storm back.
Yeah, I assume this is regular season points. You're right. Every time. Anyway. Pavelski. I'm going a little higher, a little big game hunting. 2+ points. A 2-point night or better for Joe. Plus 300 to go along with my Rupe. Those are my bets of the day. Sorry, Flames fans.
Well, I mean...
But listen.
We could be jinky pants, too.
It's Betway. What am I going to do? Huh?
You pick Flames, you're going to be called jinxie pants. You're not being jinxie pants here.
Huh? What do you got?
I'm reading the same literature.
Are you?
I'm singing the same psalms. We are hammering out melodies and harmonies together. Rope hints 2+ points, plus 275.
Yeah.
And someone beating the Flames by 2, hard to do. They usually lose every game by 1. But if it were to happen tonight, plus 175. And I'm going to jinx the Stars here because I haven't gone minus 1.5 for anyone against the Flames all year.
So you should have, you have to apologize to those Dallas Stars fans when that happens.
Doing our part here, folks.
There you go. Hey, Betway, bets of the day. Get the app on your phone. Be 19. Be responsible. Be a non-terror. Just do you know how you should be. Just be that way.
Do it.
Be a good person. Betway,
better
bets
than
of
we
the day.
Yeah.
Betway, bets of the day.
Betway.
And then Afterburner tonight with you and me, Retro. You and me. How tired is Boom looking? Boomer's looking look at how tired Boom's looking. Boom's looking so tired. You're going to be tired? I will say this. I do love starting the week with an Afterburner. It really kind of sets the tone and sets the mood.
Well, I got good news for next week. We've got a Sunday night Afterburner.
Good.
Listen, it's irrelevant. You get up at 2 in the effing morning. Don't talk to me about sleep.
Listen,
you don't sleep
you know what? 3:54 this morning. Oh, and I thought I was hoped. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I was up for a while, but I managed to get back to sleep.
So you didn't go on your phone and tweet because that's when it's done.
No, but you're not getting back. I could kind of recognize where I was. I thought maybe, you know what? I can kind of
get close.
I might be able to go back to sleep. Maybe all hope is not lost.
You're a shitty sleeper.
About 30 minutes later, I finally fell back asleep. Well, we got to do that jersey for hearing loss clinic. And what are we doing with that other thing? Get that other. Oh, we got to do something different with it.
You missed this, don't you, Rhett?
I got to go. I'll talk to you later. Oilers suck. They're actually in Buffalo tonight, and they stink, and they're terrible.
Go to the game.
No,
Heckle Leon.
I won't. Okay. I will not support that team.
All right, everybody. That's Barn Burner. An uplifting edition of Barn Burner on your Monday.
Though? Wasn't it?
Game day edition. Get your helmet on. See you tomorrow, buddies.
Another game day. Can't wait. So good.
Bye.